The topic of lost media is all the rage these days. But while everyone and their brother searches for well-known pieces like Saki Sonobashi, Slamfest 99, and old episodes of Doctor Who, there are hundreds, if not thousands of pieces that no one is looking for. These are those pieces. This is lesser-known lost media.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is volume 30 of lesser known lost media. Hard to imagine that earlier this year I decided to try my hand at a lost media video and it blew up and has become the most popular series on my channel. While I never intended to be a lost media channel, I am not upset about the popularity this series has garnered. I too love lost media and I love talking about some of the lesser known pieces. So, a couple things are going to be different about today's episode. One, to celebrate the fact that this is the 30th episode, I'm going to be doing a very special giveaway. And it's not just going to be a normal miniature giveaway, I'm going to be giving away a whole-ass anime figurine. More on that during the ad break. Now, in our last episode, I changed things up a little. Hey, the year's coming to an end, why not? And I did lost media that had been confirmed that it did not exist, so there's nothing to be found. Now, this time, I know I made a comment saying if you wanted to see me cover found media to let me know. I'm actually recording this video well in advance before that video goes live, so I've decided that I do what I want. Since this is our 30th episode, as well as the fact that ultimately the goal of all lost media is to either 1, determine that it in fact does not exist, or 2, for it to become found, I'm going to cover today 5 pieces of found media. And of course this will follow the same format. First 4 pieces are more or less family friendly. The 5th and final piece that we'll do after the ad break will be not safe for work. So, with all that being said, let's look at some of the pieces that have been found due to the efforts of lost media hunters like possibly yourselves. At number 1, we have 2 Foot O Butt Crack. Found Bruce Greenwood song from Dumb and Dumber comedy film circa 1994. This piece was found on the 2nd of December of 2015 and was found by Billy Goodrum. Now, I've never seen Dumb and Dumber, and people that I tell that to are always surprised by that because I love movies and they all say that the comedy, I find it absolutely hilarious, but I have not seen the film. But, that's why this one stood out to me, because I didn't know there was a piece of lost media related with the film. 2 Foot O Butt Crack is a song featured on the soundtrack for the film Dumb and Dumber. The song is heard briefly during the truck stop scene in the first half of the movie. Only the lyrics 2 Foot O Butt Crack was all I could see are audible before the sound fades out. The end credits of the movie list the song as being performed by a band called Circle the Wagon. According to the Wikipedia article on Dumb and Dumber, the only known copy is somewhere in the possession of New Line Cinema. In an interview with The Hour, Canadian actor Bruce Greenwood actually claimed to be the man singing the song and that Circle the Wagon was misattributed during production. An edited version of the song excerpted from the movie surfaced on January 13th of 2015. The full song was uploaded on December 2nd of that same year. And just for funsies, the lyrics of the song are, "I got up every morning, worked my fingers to the bone, and bought her a washer for our new mobile home. But when the thing shut down, she had a cold-hearted plan to find her way into the arms of another man. She grabbed the yellow pages and hit the telephone. But when I came home early, she was not alone. As I came through the door, he was slipping away. My jaw hit the floor. She had nothing to say. 2 Foot O Butt Crack was all I could see. The wrong end of the repairman was looking back at me. He went out the window as I came through the door, and I saw them repair coveralls laying on the floor." Now the neighbors informed me about the Maytag man, driving up every day in his repair van. He was there to work on her, not the washing machine. It was fine, my heart was broke. It was a sad, sad scene. 2 Foot O Butt Crack was all I could see. The wrong end of the repairman was looking back at me. He went out the window as I came through the door, and I saw them repair coveralls laying on the floor. Oh, and if I thought she loved him for his uniform, I have bought myself one I could afford. And if I thought it turned her on with his repair tool, I'd have bought me a wrench and gone to repair school. 2 foot o' butt crack was all I could see. The wrong end of the repairman was looking back at me. He went out the window as I came through the door, and I saw them repair coveralls laying on the floor. Again, I find the story behind this pretty interesting because it was just some song you heard for a brief second in a movie, had nothing really to do with the plot, but people loved the movie, or I guess loved this little excerpt of the song so much that they went on a hunt for this song that lasted over 10 years. It just kind of shows you that where there's a will, there's a way, and never underestimate the persistence of people trying to find lost media. At number 2, we have 40 Winks, a found Nintendo 64 port of a PlayStation 3D platformer circa 1999 to 2000. This was found on the 29th of January 2008 for the prototype, and on the 22nd of October for 2018, 10 years later, for the official release. The prototype was found by Gorgy Rip, and Pico Interactive handled the official release. So 40 Winks is a platformer game developed by Eurocom for the PlayStation in 1999. While the game received mixed reviews, development of a Nintendo 64 port began and was set for a 2000 release date. The Nintendo 64 port of 40 Winks was very far into development, having received a review from the official Nintendo magazine. In late 1999, the publishers began debating whether or not they should release the game for the N64, with IGN calling its future uncertain. Ultimately, they decided against it, and the port went unreleased. As mixed reviews came in for 40 Winks, the parent company GT Interactive was starting to be affected by the commercial failure of 40 Winks on the PlayStation. In order to stay afloat, GT Interactive started to sell off assets and downsize the development team working on the N64 port. Despite all these efforts, the port was cancelled in 2000, even though the port was covered in a lot of gaming magazines. As to its availability, even though the English, Spanish, and Italian prototypes were released on popular ROM hosting websites and could be easily discovered through a simple Google search, on February 12th of 2018, Pico Interactive, a game development and publishing company that concentrates on licensing and finishing new and unfinished games for retro video game consoles, launched a Kickstarter to officially release 40 Winks on the N64. The Kickstarter raised $131,252 with 1,709 backers by the deadline, which not only got 40 Winks released on the N64, but Microsoft Windows and Steam as well on October 22nd of 2018. The N64 version even got a special edition release with a black-colored game cartridge, artbook poster, POG, and CD containing the soundtrack. Pico also released a limited amount of special edition N64 40 Winks controllers along with the game. So I've actually never heard of this game 40 Winks. I had a PlayStation back in the day and I don't remember this one at all. I definitely find it interesting that for a game that was ultimately, the port was canceled because the game itself was not selling well, that there would be enough of an interest in finally getting just a port. Like, as far as I understand, you can go buy the PlayStation game at any used store and play it on a PlayStation, but no, people wanted the N64 version and actually got together, and even though the original technically wasn't found, a whole new company got together and made the port. I don't know, I just find that interesting. Maybe you do, maybe not, I don't know, but it's my channel. At number 3, we have a self-induced hallucination, a found Jane Shoburn documentary on the Slender Man creepypasta 2018. This piece was found on the 1st and 7th of February of 2023 and was found by file-saving archivist of Moving Image Things, Jane Shoburn. A self-induced hallucination is a 2018 documentary film directed and edited by Jane Shoburn. The film is made up of found YouTube videos in which different people talk about the fictional character called Slender Man. The film was released for free on Vimeo on June 19th of 2018 by the account The Eye Slicer, and was a Vimeo staff pick. The film was later removed from Vimeo for unknown reasons. Jane Shoburn later directed, wrote, and edited the film We're All Going to the World's Fair in 2021, which received a wide release. As to the availability, there may be no plans to put the movie on video-on-demand services, as Jane has said, "I have no desire to profit from it or to commodify it in a traditional sense. It feels too personal to me to do that." The film was screened at BAM, Brooklyn Academy of Music, on April 10th of 2022, where Janeurn did a Q&A. Now, on February 1st of 2023, file-saving archivist of Moving Image Things uploaded the whole documentary to the Internet Archive, including its 3 video resolutions that came from an archive download link of the film, rendering the entire documentary found. A few days later, on February 7th of 2023, after learning about their documentary resurfacing, the documentarian, Janeurn, stated on their Twitter account that the latter used archived was not the final cut of the film. Janeurn would later upload the finalized cut of the film on Vimeo, available to be watched, where you can still see it to this day. It feels like it wasn't that long ago when Slender Man just was in every portion of the internet. I mean, and to the point where I got pretty sick of it, to be perfectly honest, and I feel like a lot of other people did too. And then, of course, there were those tragic events where those kids attacked another kid because of their belief in Slender Man. So, you know, it's, I feel like that really caused the fanaticism of Slender Man's fan base to, you know, plummet, so to speak. But it's interesting that, this one, for me, I really think the interesting part about it is that there was nowhere for the film to be seen. Somebody uploaded it to the Internet Archive, and then, you know, this creator who knew people had been looking for the film, who had it all along, goes, "Oh, well, I'll upload the final cut." It's like, I don't know, sometimes it feels like these pieces are which should be easy to obtain, but nobody is just, the people who have them just kind of aren't willing to put in the small amount of effort. Like, one of the biggest well-known lost media pieces that people are looking for, of course, being Slamfest 99, I guarantee you Nintendo has that somewhere. All it would take is for someone to go find it and upload it to the internet, and all would be hunky-dory. And I think they just don't want to bother. And I feel like that was the case here until somebody uploaded a film. It wasn't the final cut, and then the person goes, "Well, people have to see the final cut. They can't see this and think it's the final version." So it's like, well, why didn't you just upload it in the beginning? I don't know. That's why this one is interesting to me. At number 4, we have Billy and Mandy in Trepanation of the Skull and You, a found prototype short of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy Cartoon Network animated series from 1995. This piece was found on the 30th of April 2016 and was found by Maxwell Adams. In 1995, while Maxwell Adams, aka Adam Burton, was still in college, he created a short film titled Billy and Mandy in Trepanation of the Skull and You. Oh, so the creator uploaded it. This short would go on to form the basis of Adams' hit Cartoon Network show, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. The character designs differ quite a bit from the end result. In the original pilot, Billy appears lankier and with a smaller nose than his final design, while Mandy has pigtails, a nose, which she lacks in the series, and a plain single-color dress. In the short, Billy learns about trepanation, a process in which a hole is drilled into the skull to relieve internal pressure. After seeing that Mandy, who incorrectly describes the process as a way to unlock the brain's full potential, has already got trepanned, Billy then has Mandy trepanate him, which result in Billy losing copious amounts of blood before passing out. Adams describes it as being completely inappropriate for Cartoon Network, but felt that the characters were too funny to use only once, which led to the development of the series. In need of a straight man character, it was eventually decided to add the Grim Reaper as the third protagonist. For the longest period of time, it was believed that the short utilized the visual style of a piece of concept art for an unrelated and unmade pilot for the show, seen here. The actual short is stylized after monochrome films of the 1920s and 30s, and featured only Billy and Mandy, the latter of whom appears significantly different than this image. Adams would later clarify the issue on his official YouTube upload of the short. In Adams' 23 Rebel Taxi interview with Pan Pizza, of thatfellow-in-the-coat.com and partner of channel Frederator, he mentioned the short in some detail, revealing that he had it stored away on film, noting that he should have had it digitally transferred at some point. As to its rediscovery, on Rebel Taxi's podcast on March 15th of 2016, it was announced that Maxwell Atoms recently found the old short and would display it at the Troma Animation Festival in New York. I don't know exactly how it's supposed to be pronounced. A day after the short premiered at the Troma Animation Film Festival, Maxwell Atoms uploaded the short to his YouTube channel in higher quality. There is noticeable deterioration of the film, though it is still in a watchable state. Atoms has clarified that he is unable to reshoot the short and sync it with its audio track, as he was forced to throw out his assets for the short to conserve space when he was living in a studio apartment. I'm personally a big fan of Billy and Mandy, and the one thing I do like about this one is that unlike in the previous entry where the creator had this the whole time and just wasn't willing to upload it anywhere, Maxwell Atoms, he just didn't know where it was. He knew he still had it, but he also admitted, yeah, I really should have digitized this way earlier, but even though it was in kind of a degraded state, he did what he could to salvage it and did upload it. And I think that just speaks to having pride in your art and wanting to show it to people and wanting to show it to the people who want to see it, rather than this whole, oh, it's just too personal, I don't think I can upload it. So be more like Maxwell Atoms. Artists, please upload your shit. Alright guys, I promised you a special prize for a special episode, and here it is. Instead of our normal miniature giveaway, we are giving away, specifically for this episode, this fun beach time pool float Albedo from Overlord anime figure. This figure comes in 3 parts, Albedo herself, her pool floaty, and the water that she and the floaty are floating on. Now, if you are a member of my Minis Fanatics Club, there will be an additional giveaway, only available to them, of a special Not Safe for Work anime figure as well. So if you like that one, be sure to head on over to the Patreon and join the Miniature Fanatics Club, and you can be entered to win that as well. But to win Albedo here, what you need to do is you need to go into the comments and enter the following phrase: no waifu, no laifu. Again, put that up on the screen. No waifu, no laifu. You have 7 days from when this video premieres to enter that comment and be entered to win this figure. That means you have until January 6th of 2024 at noon Eastern Standard Time to get your entry in. The same timeline applies to the figure over on the Patreon. Of course, after entries have closed, I will select a winner, and that winner will be announced in a future video. Please remember, you need to be watching all the videos in order to make sure that you see the announcement. Once the winner is announced, you will have 7 additional days to claim your prize. So be sure to make that comment, no waifu, no laifu, and perhaps you'll be lucky enough to win this figure. Now let's get to that final not safe for work piece of lost media. At number 5, we have 120 Days of Sodom, a found novel by the Marquis de Sade from 1785. So this novel, 120 Days of Sodom, is a 1785 novel written by Donatien Alphonse François, the Marquis de Sade. It was written in secrecy during de Sade's time imprisoned in the Bastille in France, and was taken right before the revolutionaries stormed the Bastille. He believed it to be lost, but it was secretly taken and owned by different people over time until its eventual publication in 1904. Due to its disturbing and sadistic sexual content, including primarily the exploitation of children, it has been banned in several countries and is widely considered to be the most impure tale ever written. The term sadism is derived from the name of Marquis de Sade, in part because of this book. The book was originally written on a scroll of paper made of glued together scraps smuggled into the Bastille. The scroll was 12 meters long, and the Marquis de Sade hid it in his cell wall in the Bastille. Now, on July 4th of 1789, he was transferred to another prison and was unable to take the scroll with him. 2 days prior to the storming of the Bastille by French revolutionaries, a citizen named Arnaud de Saint-Maximin took the manuscript. It is unknown where he took it, but it was eventually discovered by the sexologist Iwan Bloch, who published the book in 1904 under the pseudonym Eugene Durin. This one I find interesting because from what little I've read of the Marquis de Sade, just about him, not of it, and I've not actually read any of his works, but the guy had some pretty unusual sexual appetites, and his works often express those and even worse than what he was known to have done. We have this idea that back in the day, everybody was very prim and proper, and if you weren't, you hid that away, or you were sent to a mental institution because you were such a deviant. And yes, the Marquis was sent to he even died in a mental institution. He was imprisoned in the Bastille for sexual crimes. But it just goes to show you that every era had its perverts. The old ways, they were no more prim and proper than we were. The idea that everybody in the past was very polite and sexually repressed is a wishful thinking of conservatives and puritanicals who wish for in their words, better time. But everybody since the dawn of man have just been filthy, filthy perverts. And nobody displays that better probably than the Marquis de Sade. And that is the video, everybody. I want to thank you so much. This will be not only my last Lost Media video of 2023, but my last video of 2023. So I want to thank you so much, everybody, who has been with me this year and the year before, but specifically this year, where this channel has grown so quickly, well beyond what I could have hoped for. At the time I'm recording this, we are well on our way to 600 subscribers. By the time this comes out, we may have gotten past that. But, you know, my goal for next year is for us to reach 1,000. Again, your support, your views are what keep this channel alive. I could not do it without you. And if you would like to help just a little bit more, please be sure to check the links. Maybe buy a mini, maybe become a channel member, maybe join the Patreon. Whatever you can, though, make sure you come back next year and keep on watching, keep on commenting, and passing these videos around, getting more people to subscribe. You really are the lifeblood of this channel. Again, I also want to thank my 2 patrons, a small legion but a mighty legion. Thank you so much to J-Dog and Arthur D. Gonzalez Martin. Please, if you would like to get a weekly verbal shout out, as well as see your name on the scrolling list at the end of every video, please consider becoming a channel member or joining the Patreon to join J-Dog and Arthur. And I just really want to wish each and every one of you, well, first, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for an amazing 2023, and then I want to wish you an even more amazing 2024. So until next time, everybody, I'm Mr. Sean, this is Chimera Miniatures, and I sincerely hope that you alpha great day and an even beta new year. Bye, everybody. See you next year.